guys, welcome back to Godly Giggles with Steve and Mo, where we show you that you can love Jesus and still have a life full of fun. Today I'm going to be interviewing Stevie, since last week she interviewed me, so I'm going to be asking her all kinds of questions about fostering and her life and stuff, so it's going to be a good episode, so make sure you stay for the whole thing. Yeah. Alright, so all my questions are on my phone, so I'm not like ignoring you.
We don't have paper, you don't hear it crumbling. It's going to be great today.
Okay. Alright, so number one, why did you start fostering?
Okay, so we were just talking about this on really, do we have a good reason why we started fostering? I think we do. So we adopted 2 kids internationally first, and you knew that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was an adoption. It was meeting the need of an orphan, a true orphan, mom or dad had passed or could no longer take care of them, and they were turned over to the government. So we adopted 2 kids internationally, and then we had a child, and then biological child, and then we were you know what, there's a huge need here in America that we need to be a part of that as well, because again, we adopted 2 kids from Honduras and China.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's thousands of children here in the foster system.
Just in Georgia.
There's 11,000 just in Georgia. I heard the statistics today about all of that stuff. So there's roughly a little over 11,000, and it was kind of put on our heart that I think God was calling us to it, to do something here in the United States, that there's kids here right in the city that we live in that need a mom and dad to step up for them, someone to be on their side, someone to advocate for them, to what is best for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't mean that we were committing to adoption. It just meant we were going to take a kid for as long as they needed, mm-hmm. while their parents got their life together.
Yeah.
So I think that we went into foster care to meet a need that's mm-hmm. right here at our front door.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really but it was a call on our heart too,
yeah.
Obviously, because we already do orphan care.
Yeah.
So through adoption. So
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. What is your favorite memory of doing foster care?
Oh.
The fostering side of it.
Oh, so I would say it's different for each kid that we get. But one of the greatest memories that you have with it is the day that you get each of them. Whether I picked up 2 twins from the Walmart parking lot, mm-hmm. and then I've picked up a sibling group of 3 at McDonald's in Cartersville. And I got a flat tire on that pickup as well, and it was 1 a.m. So that was quite the adventure. So that was probably a good memory there. Also, I'll never forget that one.
Yeah.
But it just having, picking them up is so memorable to
mm-hmm.
me, because it's your first encounter with them, mm-hmm. and they're who the heck are you?
Mm-hmm.
For starters.
Is it ever sad? Because I remember when we first got Ethan and he got dropped off, if I still think about it now, it makes me start crying because it was pitiful.
Yes.
Is it ever sad?
It is. Because a lot of times it is sad, especially if the kids are old enough to know what mm-hmm. is happening.
Yeah.
Or to know that they were just taking away from mom and dad, mm-hmm. and now they're coming to get in the car with a stranger. Mm-hmm. The look on their face is, it's absolutely horrible. And all you can do is be a sweet sound voice, mm-hmm. and try to comfort them, and, try to soothe them so that they know, I am a safe person, mm-hmm. because really they have no idea, and a lot of kids, even at 12 and 13, don't know what true foster care is.
Yeah.
So being that sweet, loving, spirit as soon as you meet them too, because they do look terrified. It's a little different for younger kids. I'm gonna say maybe 3 and under, because
they just don't really
they're
understand.
just oh, you got something for me, go give me some food, and they're just hey, yes, hop in the car, just because they're not familiar with that,
mm-hmm.
And so there is sadness to it, but it's also such a sweet memory that we always hold on to, of
mm-hmm.
The day we picked you up, we know that. Mm-hmm. We remember that. So that's it.
What are some things that God has taught you through doing foster care for you and Josh?
Okay, so I'm going to say the biggest one is biological parents is like such a big life lesson for us. We did not go into foster care to minister to biological parents. We went into foster care to meet the need of a child. And so God has really changed our heart in that. So we've been able to have wonderful relationships with our foster parent, or our biological parents, sorry. And so like that has probably been the biggest like thing that even like God changed my heart on with fostering. So we have an open adoption with Elijah's mom. He's our little boy that has Down syndrome that we adopted through foster care. And so we have like this open adoption with her. So she calls, she FaceTimes. Like I never in a million years thought I would have a relationship with a biological parent to the point that like she's going to spend Thanksgiving with us and spend the night. I don't know if I told you that yet.
That's fun.
So, and she's bringing her new little baby too. So we get to meet him. He does not look like Elijah, by the way. I was kind of surprised.
Sweet for Elijah, though.
So she is so excited because she had another child and she was able to keep him. And he gets to meet his brother for the first time Thanksgiving. So that is so sweet. Like that's such a cool thing too that we've been able to have. Like I just never thought I'd have a relationship with a biological mom and dad too, but this particular case is just Elijah's mom. And then even the two boys that we have now, we have been able to open up our home to their mom to come for her visits, so the boys can be in their environment with all of their medical equipment and all of their needs. So I think God just opened our eyes and our heart to biological families, which is not what I was expecting at all. Like,
and that's not what people typically think about, because you think of like, oh, like somebody who just lost custody of their kids, like temporarily or permanently or whatever. Like you must think that they're just like a real something. Think that would even be a choice, because just for like how scary it may be, or just what.
Well, and you don't know what they're in. I mean, they could be into drugs. They could be into. I mean, there's any and everything. Yeah. There's a reason they lost their kid.
Right.
But God has so much grace on us, and it was like you have got to have grace for them, and there's a reason that they're in that spot that they're in as well. And so it's like, the system may have failed them, or it was their parents treated them the same way. When you're talking about abuse and stuff, like that's just how they grew up. So it's like that constant reminder of grace for them. It's a new day. It's a fresh start for them. This is a fresh start for them to possibly get their kids back. And you get to be a part of that piece for them by maybe they didn't have a mom that truly loved them and nurtured them and cared for them, and so I get to like be mom in a sense, like an example to these birth moms. So it's like it's such a it's crazy how like God completely turned it into something that I was not expecting but almost didn't want at the same time.
Because it can be scary. And I know that some people, like when you think of fostering and foster care, it's like you're almost like fostering to adopt or for someone else to adopt. But I know for the agency, like we're a part of, like the main goal is reunification, which is like something you have to keep reminding yourself about. Like you have to love these kids and care for them like you're their own, but it's also like the main goal is like we want them to go back to their parents if they can get like better. And then I know like with the gala we went to, like watching the videos about that, it was like it was different, because I mean every case and every parent and kid is so different. So it's like you got to be like so close with some of your kids' moms, and then others not so much, and yada yada. And like with Ethan's mom, like we were kind of close with her, but then not so much anymore. And it's all just so different. And just to have like that mindset of like it's not about me at all. Like it's really just about
that is it. That is foster care. It is. So many people say, oh, I couldn't do it because I would get too attached.
But it's not like, about you.
It's not. That's the whole point. We want you to get so attached that child learns bonding and attachment and love in its purest form. And then it's what you're supposed to do is to love that child to be able to go back home. And so it is completely not about you at all. It is about that kid and what is best and right for them. And what we see as right sometimes is not what is truly right either. And so that's something you have to come to grips with too, is like that child is safe in my home. They're fine, they're fed, they're loved, they're cared for. That mom can't do it. Well, she's going to do it to the best of her ability, because that is her kid, and she does love him because she fought hard enough to get him back.
Right.
You know, and so we can't look at them any differently because they don't have the same standards as us.
Right.
So it's you like hit it right on point. Not about us.
Okay, so how do, this is probably the weird worded question, but like how do Abel and Abraham like handle like all the changes, and like how do y'all like help them deal with all that? Because that's a lot to handle. I'm like, y'all been doing this Abel's whole life.
Yes.
And ever since you got Abraham.
Yes.
So that's a long time.
So that is something that so the good part is Abel was so young when we started this that
he's just used
to it. And I know that sounds so terrible, but like it's part of life for him is these kids may come and go and some may stay, like Elijah. He stayed. So now that Abel is 8, he's learned adoption, he's learned foster care, he's learned what that meant. But we take our kids to everything too that we go to for foster care. So they go to the visits and see us drop them off and see us, you know, interact with their mom and dad. So the boys always know they have a mom and dad who they may get to go back home to. So like we've kind of made them a part of the whole process so that they get to experience everything to know what it is.
Yeah.
But then there's that constant reassurance, especially for Abraham, that you're not leaving because Abraham is adopted from China.
Right.
So like he sometimes needs to be reminded that you're here to stay forever. Adoption means forever.
Yeah.
And so we've had to really make sure those two terms are separated, foster care and adoption. Foster care leaning more toward reunification, adoption forever, never leaving. And so that's been just something that we've had to, now that Abraham's older, he's 17, so like he is safe, and I mean, like, he knows he ain't going nowhere, you know what I mean? But in those early stages, he just questioned, because he was adopted at 9, are you going to send me back? Where am I going to go next? Because Abraham has a whole nother story of his life where that is a question for him. And so he's actually done really well with it, and he loves these kids just like they do ours. I mean, both of them, you've seen them interact with all of our kids, and I mean, I think Abel would like carry one of them around right now if he could, like all over the place. So they have done well. We really have to talk. So we had that placement of the 3 boys for 3 years. That was probably been like the hardest loss that we had to experience, and the boys had to experience that too. And so that was a tough one. But 3 years of living in our home.
You haven't had anyone that long.
No.
Them not adopt.
No. Like M is with us for 2 years, and like we're working on our 3rd year, but they were our longest case. 3 years those babies were in foster care, and they went home. So we can talk about this. Little Coda was 4 months old when I got him. And he left at 3.5. So like that was like Abraham's brother.
Yeah.
Like that was my baby. Like I got him as a baby, and he left as a
any different.
Yes. And so that was like a hard one for them to handle, but I think it was because it was so long.
That was hard for a lot of people.
Yes. Because they were some precious little
they
boys.
Were so sweet.
Yes.
They were so funny.
They were, so when they left, they were 3.5, 9, and almost 13. And
he was that old?
Kason was,
oh
yes.
My gosh.
So it was so crazy. Like, he was about to have a birthday when he left. And it was just like, oh my gosh, like, they're grown now, you know, compared to when you first get them. So they're like, you know, they hold a very special place, but I feel like I raised them.
Yeah,
like, you know,
I mean, you did. Coda, especially.
A baby to almost going into school, really starting pre-K. So, yes, our boys have done amazing, though. Yeah. They really have.
And that really, like this for them is it just kind of seeps into other areas of life. Like, both of them are so inclusive, like in youth group and children's church, and they're all like so kind to everyone, no matter like what they look like or what issues they have or like anything there like that. And they just love them just as they would if they looked just like them or their best friend. And that's something, especially as a kid, you know, because you know you don't expect a kid to have it all figured out like Abel and like like this, but I mean he does. Like, he loves everybody, and you can just tell that it's genuine, just like any other kid that comes in y'all's house.
Yes.
And it's so sweet.
Like, he gets so excited when Titus is here.
Aww.
You know, like, because Titus is actually, Titus is so precious. He has Down syndrome. But like Abel is like, where's Titus? Where's Titus? Like, he wants to go grab his hand just because he knows like, oh, I can guide him over here.
Yes.
Where all the other typical kids are just kind of like running around, you know, and so like, just, they may not go for the special needs kid, you know, like, so it's sweet that my kids have that different, not that they're better, I don't mean like that, but they just have a different knowledge and understanding of special needs because that's what we have in our home.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. What are some things that you like tell to yourself during the hard times of fostering? Because I know you've had some tough kids lately and in the past. So like, what keeps you? I know that some kids you've had is different. Like, there's different kinds of hard. Like, hard could be like going to medical appointments, but there's also hard like
behaviors.
Yes.
So
that was different for y'all.
Yes. So we like recently for a year had 2 kids with behavior problems, and we are not a behavior family. We are a medically fragile special needs home. So we were venturing out into some unknown territory, and we had 2 kids with behavior problems, and that was probably the most challenging thing ever, though, compared to the medical needs. And that's just for us. Some people cannot handle medical needs and can handle behaviors a lot better. But that was like, I did a lot of praying and a lot of like reminding myself that they came from the hardest spot I think I've probably ever seen too. And so that was something that I had to like daily remind myself, they don't know any better. They've never experienced any of this.
And they're
all of
already
this is new.
Raised and older.
Like, yes, like the 9 and 11.
Yeah.
Or 9 and 12.
And it's hard to break that of their whole life. Like, you're raised, like, you know rules, you know, like right from wrong and that kind of thing. And
but also I don't know if you knew that, like, they had no running water.
Yeah.
So like
at their old place.
Yeah, so like even down to basic necessities, they did not have. So they didn't know what to do with it. So that was very challenging.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like behaviors that shouldn't have happened had they just had running water.
Right.
Like that's a basic need.
Yeah.
We live in America. We can get water anywhere. And so for someone to not have it, you're just like, I don't even understand this. Like, how did that happen? How did it go missed for so long?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like a recent thing. It was literally their whole life.
Right.
They did not have it. And so, and then, you know, food needs weren't being met. My 11-year-old had never been to school. So like, he didn't even know his ABCs. And you're just thinking.
And that like trickles into how they act too, because it's their.
Well, the school system has like No Child Left Behind. So they don't fail them. So I have a kid who can't say his ABCs in the 5th grade. And it's just such an interesting way of handling it. But again, that was like that constant reminder, oh my gosh, like they have not had it. So there's got to be lots of grace. There's lots of grace in foster care.
Yes.
But it does get challenging. It will wear you down, saying the same thing every day, going over the exact same rules every day. But I think that I read something for every year that a child experienced trauma, it takes like 3 years to undo that 1 year. Some, or maybe it's like the counseling side of it. That the counselor had told me. And so I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can undo 11 years of trauma. You're talking like in their 30s before they're like, oh, this is where I wash my hands. I wash my hands. You know, so that's probably been the hard part of like how we get through it is like just praying daily, like, God, give me patience and wisdom and knowledge how to handle the situations. Because they're each different.
Okay, so how is it, or how do y'all like treat or handle, like, is it weird always having like a stranger kid in your house? Like, because you know, most people.
So actually. So have you ever heard like the honeymoon phase?
Yes.
Of like whatever, anything. So you're in like this honeymoon phase for several months of getting a new placement. And and it's great. And then they get comfortable and they start feeling safe. So then they start like
acting up.
Yeah, but it's like the trauma becomes known. So it's like, I'm comfortable enough to show you my emotions now. I'm comfortable enough to not totally listen to you all the time, like, because I'm
like, he's not scared to be there anymore.
Because he's like, I'm here, I'm safe, I'm good, I'm being fed. A lot of needs are just like basic housing, clothing, food. Like that's what they want. And so once they get that, but it's that honeymoon phase is like so great, and you're getting to know the kid. They're wanting to impress you. They're wanting to be on their best behavior, and so that is it kind of like eases you into it. Good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's still going.
Okay. Like our computer just went blank for a second, so make sure it didn't die. So that's always an interesting part of it, is just they're almost not the same kid after a couple of months.
Yeah.
But then again, you're like learning a whole new kid too, because you have a new person living in your house, and they've got to work out the like family dynamics of like where their place is in our family. And it's not that they're out of place, but that I'm a child.
It's like a newborn. Like you have to like they have to know like, oh, they do this way, and which is different than how I did it, and you're gonna not at all
kind of adapt to that.
Yeah.
But they're also learning the role of like, I get to be a kid and I don't have to be a parent, because a lot of times foster kids took care of another sibling, or they took care of their parents while they were doing whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
Or they were taking care of completely themselves,
Yeah.
trying to find food, trying to find shelter, trying to learn how to bathe. And so them learning that we're the parents and we're going to meet your needs. And then you're the kid, you get to be a kid.
Right.
And so that's always one of the little challenges of having like a new person in your house. And each kid is so different. So it's like, you just did it with one, and they leave a year later, and then you gotta start all over and do it again. Yeah. Or they call you in the middle of that year for another kid. And you're like, sure, we're still trying to figure this one out. And our life and everything else. So
Okay. Do you struggle like having 4 babies who can't really walk or talk or do anything for themselves?
No. Yes, I do. I mean, you just saw me get out of the car. You had to like help me. and that was you and Abel and Josh and me all trying to do it. So yes, it's definitely like slowed us down a little bit in terms of just going and doing whenever. Because again, I have to take 4 kids who have to have diaper changes, who have to have feeding tubes. They've got to be put into something because they cannot walk. They cannot help you assist in anything. And so this has been our most challenging set of placements yet. We have 3 foster kids that 2 of them are related and one of them is not. So it's definitely been hard. It's not impossible. Like we've been doing it since April. So
y'all still go and do lots of stuff. Like you said, it's just slower.
It's slower. It's just a little different. We haven't been on an airplane. Like we haven't taken them like anywhere big, any like that. But you went to you went to Universal with me. Yeah. So we drove. We did drive down. Yeah. So we still do stuff, but it takes a little more like thought, even to go into a restaurant. It's like, we need somewhere for 4 strollers or 4 high... No, there can't even be in high chairs. Can we have 1 high chair and a booster seat, and we need this double stroller that's like the size of a small school bus. Can we like fit it over here too? You know, so like we even have to think about where we're going to go eat after church on Sunday.
I didn't even like think about that until like recently in the past few months, because you're like, we can't go anywhere except like the Mexican restaurants because they're the only ones that
haven't opened us. They have like massive tables, and they're so sweet. We go to the same Mexican restaurant every Sunday after church, and they give us 2 tables in the very back so that we can like park strollers like all right in between the 2 tables, and no one has to walk through it. So like they're great. They're like, oh, big party. That's all they call us. We're like, yeah, that's us. over here.
Yeah.
So, and then half the time we have like several youth kids going with us too, and I'm like, we need 3 booths today.
Yeah.
And room for all of them as well.
Yeah.
So like even down to that, we have to think about,
Mm-hmm.
can we even fit in there as a family?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were funny going to Cracker Barrel. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet. Get
Yeah.
out of that car.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So how do you not get like burnout on like from the redundant things of like changing diapers, like hooking up feeding tubes, like moving strollers, buckling them in, taking them out of the car, like all that?
I do. Just kidding. I do get burned out, but I still do it.
Yeah, you still get up and
every
do it.
day, every single morning. I am not a schedule person.
No.
That is this girl. I am not a schedule person, but I have a schedule with some special needs kids. Every morning I am up at like 5 o'clock starting feeding tubes. Like I have a routine
Mm-hmm.
to be able to make the day possible. And if I did not have that, I think we would get so burnout
Mhm.
because it's just pure chaos all the
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
So having that schedule actually makes life great. If I would just have a schedule for all of my life, that'd be awesome. But I do not. And then I think it's because God called us to this, and he called us to special needs kids that we're able to keep going on and on and on. I don't know where the energy comes from.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. Obviously, I know it comes from him. But, like, just the energy to get up every morning and to do the same thing over again, day after day. And then it gets a little down when you hit, like, a plateau of no progress, too, in your kids. And you're wanting them to grow, and you're still wanting them to develop, and they're not. And you're just like, okay, is it me? Am I not doing a good enough job because we have too much going on and I'm not focusing on them? And so then again, these therapists or these teachers do that little reminder of this is their diagnosis and this is going to happen. And so then it's almost like a breath of fresh air when someone says that.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing. We're going to keep doing therapy. We're going to keep, doing therapies at home. We're going to keep trying to talk. We're going to keep trying to learn how to eat. So like, let's do this because you're just in that plateau where we got to keep going up now. And so I think it's like people don't realize it, but they actually are encouragement for us to keep going. And it may be the smallest little thing that you say that can really help a foster parent to keep going. And then we get like from our agency, we get like sweet little reminders that even they appreciate us with a gift card for our family to go out to dinner. Or, they're like, hey, we have a date night. Do you want to come bring your baby so that you guys can go out to eat? So I think like all of those things help play into not getting burnout, but I can see where people where it could easily happen. But having that support system of the agency, our church, family, babysitters, like people just being able to, when you're feeling like you're getting to that point, stepping in and like, hey, you guys go have a date night tonight. We got this covered. So that is definitely, again, lots of praying. Lots of praying. So,
Okay.
yes.
How do you press through, I mean, it's kind of the same question, but how do you press through, like, the chaos of, like, medical appointments and, like, their medical problems and the throw up and everything, like, and then all the stuff in Atlanta, like, how do you navigate all of that?
Almost that. While being a full-time working mom, like that is where that's where it gets like even crazier. So I'm off on Wednesdays. So literally every Wednesday, except for I just had therapy today. Every Wednesday I have some sort of medical appointment in Atlanta. Whether it be the foster kids or Abraham, like somebody's got an appointment in Atlanta. And so navigating that, it can just be challenging, but again, I got this big old calendar that I open up and I schedule those appointments like one after another on Wednesdays to try to like knock out as much as I can while I'm in Atlanta, so I'm not making like 17 trips during the week up there too. So that definitely helps that I can do back-to-back appointments because it's all at the same location, the children's hospital. So that definitely helps make it possible too. So she mentioned throwing up. We have this one baby right now. He's 3. He's not a baby, but he throws up all day. And we are trying to figure out how to fix that. And we have been to every specialist. We're changing medications. Like we are on the stuff. Like I know the questions to ask, and they are just trying to help us navigate. Like let's narrow down everything to get that under control. Now that can be. Have you seen it?
To throw up.
Yeah.
Yes. He's throwing up on me.
Oh yes, it is bad. Like the poor baby, you just like your heart breaks for him, but then you're like, I gotta clean this up again, and it's all in my car.
And that poor stroller. They had this double stroller that they've had, and it's a nice stroller, but that poor baby throws up almost every time he's in it, and so
I just gave up washing it.
Yeah. That's just gonna be his special stroller.
It looks rough, y'all, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It was a nice one at one point, but it's fine.
Power wash.
So yeah, we need like a what is that?
It might be one.
Yeah, but what's the spray? Where you go across? I know it's power wash, but I thought it was called something else.
I don't know. Like at the car wash, you get it off the little wall.
We're gonna need. I might make you go with me to do that. That's how I keep going. Don't get burnt out. Take Mollie to do it with me.
Yay!
I'm kidding. Yep. So that's okay. Did I answer the question? It's just like navigating all of that.
Yeah.
Scheduling is crucial and important, and you just do it. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, you're in bed and you're like, how did we accomplish today? Like, how did we get that done? Mm-hmm. And you're like, I don't know, we high five each other. We're like, let's do it again tomorrow.
Yeah. Do you have anything that you would like to say, like advice or something for foster parents or people who are wanting to foster or adopted parents who are waiting on a kid? Like any advice or things you would like to say to them?
Yes. If it's even like come across your mind to be a foster parent or to do something for foster kids, do it. There's absolutely no reason not to. I mean, we can think of 100 reasons not to.
But none of them are good enough.
But none of them are really good enough because, again, it is not about you. Yeah. It is about a kid who needs a mom and a dad and a bed at night. And, like, most Americans have that they can offer. And I'm 100% sure, like, every Christian has that on top of it. You have space for a kid.
Right.
And you just got to like open up your mind and your heart that you can do it. Yeah. Don't overdo it. Don't take a sibling group of 5 to begin with. You take one. That's what you guys did. You took one and you changed the life for one kid. And so I would definitely encourage you to do it. We use Mollie's family and mine. We use Families for Families. They are here in Georgia, and it's a faith-based organization. They are absolutely amazing to work with. I've been with them for 7 years, so they are our go-to people. You can call your local DFACS, and if you've thought about international adoption, it is the most amazing thing that you could ever do. Both of my boys came from there first, and again, one's from Honduras, one's from China, and it was like the smoothest thing ever. And it's done. Like, I adopt them, it's done. There is no, like, fostering of, could they go home, could they not? There's none of that. Like, international adoption, those are your babies. And they are yours forever. And here at the Church of Joy, we do give away an adoption grant. And so that is absolutely amazing, too. So don't let money ever be a reason why you do not adopt or foster. Because we have grants for you right here. You can apply on our church's website. You didn't know I was going this way, did you?
I was just thinking website. It's like perfect timing because adoption.
Like we're actually I just took a picture, don't let me forget to show you, of the families who are going to be receiving our grant this year. We're able to give away three, I'm so excited, adoption grants, and they are coming to church on the 17th. So you guys should watch our live on it because they will be here, and they are like so sweet. I can't wait to show you. So yes, just do it. Don't think about it. Just go for it. Sign up. Submit the home study. You're good. Yeah. Let's just go for it. You can call us. We'll help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So
okay.
That's it.
That's it. That's
yes.
all I have too.
All right. You want to close this out?
Yeah. Okay, well, I hope you guys had so much fun listening to Stevie talk about foster care. If you have any other questions about that, you can feel free to DM Stevie or email us or go to the Church of Joy's website or anything like that. And we hope that you really enjoyed this episode. And
like us, love us, text us.
Yeah, like it. Oh, thank you for listening to God the Giggles. We're Steve and Mo, and we will see you guys next week. Thank you guys for
Bye.
watching. Bye. I'm like totally